Hello, welcome to our session today. It's about how to make the most of your virtual learning consultation. And Megan, who is a tutor at Somerset Community College at the Somerset campus, will be presenting for us. Please remember to turn off your microphones and those kind of things. And if you have questions or whatever, you can type in the box or raise your hand, okay? And I'm going to turn it over to Megan now.
Alrighty, guys, I'm Megan Martin, and I am going to help you all figure out how to do your virtual appointments. The very first thing we're going to go over is how to make the appointment yourself, because, most people, they're just like, oh, where do I go? Which is totally fair. What we're going to do, we're going to share our screen. We're going to start from step one. We're going to go to whatever preferred browser you want to use. You'll go to your, the best way to do it, especially if you're a student trying to get through your classes and such, you'll go to your My Path. And then what you will do, you'll scroll down. And most people, they don't see this right away because it's not one of the very first buttons. You'll go down to the, here we go. You will choose library. And you'll choose whichever school you're from, which we're going to choose Somerset Community College. And you'll scroll down to tutoring. And there's this nifty little button that says make an appointment. And it'll send you right to LibCount. And you can select your location. We're going to do virtual tutoring. And we're going to make an appointment with me, which I'm a writing tutor, and I'm Megan Martin, so we'll choose that. Let's see, let's say we need one right now, like, oh, we need help now, so we're going to choose 3 p.m. for today. And you'll put in your first name and your last name, so we know who you are. You'll send us your email so we can contact you if we need to. And you'll choose whatever class you need help with. It could be any of these. It could be something else. Let's say I need help with 102. Your professor, just so that kind of helps us see, depending on if we know who that is, what kind of methods they may like or how we can help you appeal to that professor more, perhaps. If you have something written down, something, or if it's a math class, if you have like a lab to do or some scratch work you did or question on a specific subject, it would really help to have that beforehand and say that you have something to upload, just so we have it beforehand and we can make things go more smoothly. Or if you don't, that's okay. It's not a big deal. It just lets us know ahead of time. And, once you have all that in order, you'll confirm your appointment. And so you've got it successfully. And what it will do after that, you will get a confirmation email with whichever email you used. For example, I used my school email. So, let's say, do I have to sign that all in again?
Already, single sign.
Let's see, you'll get this email, say it's been confirmed. And you get a little blurb of what your tutor will say. Mine says, hello, I'm Megan. I look forward to working with you. It's been confirmed. And depending on what we tutor, it will say something different for each one. They're all personalized. And if you've made a virtual appointment, you'll get a link like this to join a Microsoft Teams meeting. You don't have to download anything. You don't have to do any extra steps. Like, it's like, oh, I don't want to do more things. Well, you don't. Thank goodness. You can just click join here and you can join the conversation. You can, let's see, I don't want to actually open up the app. You can continue on your browser. So there's no download or installation required. And it should take you right to it. We're going to block that so we don't have any extra feedback. Yes. And if you're scared about showing your face, which I totally get that, you don't have to. I know some people, they're kind of nervous about that stuff, and that's totally fine. We understand. You can put whatever name you want, preferably your actual name, so we're not confused. And if you're not ready to talk just yet, that's fine too. You can join in any way you want. And it lets us know that you're in the lobby waiting for us as well. Since I'm the organizer, it's not going to actually put me in there. But it'll let us know that you're there so we can admit you in and start the actual meeting. Let's see here. Actually get in this way.
If you want to, you can show them what Teams looks like by showing the screen for this Teams meeting. So we could leave that.
That would be cool. Okay. And this is what it'll look like once you're in there. It'll just be between you and your tutor. So there'll just be only one person you're looking at. But it'll show up like this. You could see who's participating. And in a regular tutoring session, it'll just be you and the tutor, of course. And you can see the chat, like, what if your sound's not working? Oh no, what if the tutor's sound's not working? Well, there's ways around that. You can get in the the chat box and be like, hey, I can't hear you, can you hear me? Or if you don't have sound or you want to say something but you don't want to interrupt, you can raise your hand, or you can respond appropriately with whatever emote you want to have. There's also more things. You can check your device settings, the quality of the call, notes, the gallery. You can do a call, like if you need an impromptu something and you just need help, you can call us. If we're in the middle of another meeting, we might not answer, but there is a chance we may, just in case. There is that option. You can also record a session if you need to come back to something, which is fine. And their camera, you can turn it off or on at any point. Your microphone the same. And screen sharing, that's in my experience, that's something huge. Like, I always share my screen when someone sent me something so I can go over it them in real time. So that's a very helpful tool. Oh, oops, I did not mean to stop sharing my screen. Sorry about that. And if you have multiple monitors per se, a lot of people do, you can choose which monitor you want to share. Like if you have some personal work on the side that you're working on and you want to share the screen that you're currently on, you can do that as well. And that's about all there is to the virtual meetings. We're not going to bite you. We're just here to help you. And we understand that things are kind of scary sometimes. So just relax and just have fun with it, really. It makes it a lot easier for everybody, including yourself. That's about all I've got to say. If anyone has any questions, I'll be willing to answer.
Do you guys have any questions? I think one thing students might want to know is how long usually is a virtual tutoring session?
Most of the time, we usually limit it to an hour, unless we talk about it beforehand. We can discuss it, of course. That's another good thing for emails.
Okay.
Especially if each party knows each other's emails, like, hey, can we extend it or can we stop it? And if it's done early, that's no big deal. I mean, most of the time when I have students, if they send me something beforehand, it gets done in 15 minutes. It's just a matter of discussion most of the time, but most of the time it's an hour is the block of time you get.
As an English learning consultant, what are like some of the top things that you usually help students with on that paper?
Most of the time, it's either basic content, like say they don't have enough length on their paper. We can like discuss and come up with ideas as to how to elaborate on something they've talked about. A lot of times I like to help on basic grammar things because everyone struggles with that, and it helps a lot to help everybody with that because it makes the general populace more knowledgeable about that stuff. Because it's a problem we see daily, so it's like, let's help with that. But most of the time it's their general essay formatting as well, the MLA, the APA as well.
Yeah, that is
That's the big
tricky
thing
to figure out. And I think it's really helpful to have somebody else look at your papers because things will jump out to them that don't always jump out to the person who writes it.
Exactly. Even us as tutors,
Right.
it's always good to have a second pair of eyes.
I think so too. Great, thanks for sharing.
Welcome.
Excuse me. I have a similar question, though I'm not sure if you'll be able to answer it. I understand that you, as a tutor, specialize in writing, and certainly that was a very informative answer that you just provided as to what is it that you do as a tutor in writing. Suppose I don't suppose you would be able to tell me what an anatomy and physiology tutor would be able to do for a student.
When it comes to A&P, I see it every once in a while. Most of the time with A&P, it's really about study practices, like how to adequately use like flashcards and memorization tactics, because a lot of that is terminology, or I believe it is when I took A&P.
That is, I certainly would agree with your assessment of the nature of the material that needs to be mastered. And that is precisely, I certainly provide my students with plenty of materials to study. But again, teaching them good study habits, study techniques is something that I feel that the tutor could really help with. And it seems I'm correct in that assessment, and that the A&P tutors do provide such training, such tutoring to the A&P students. Thank you.
Welcome.
Lisa, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was wondering how quickly could I get an appointment with a tutor? Should I need one? Is it 24 hours, 48 hours, or can I see someone quickly if I needed to?
It really depends on the specific tutor's settings. For me, for example, especially since we had to work from home for a little while, our lead time, as they call it, was 0 minutes. Say it was, you saw when I made that appointment with myself, it was past 2 o'clock and I made it for 3. That means I did it within an hour. But within any minute of this hour, say it was 2:59, that 3 p.m. would have still been available. I have a 0 lead time. But say, what if someone wanted to make a calculus appointment with, say, Devin Muse, for example? His lead time is a little different because he has a different set of circumstances. So say it may be a 12-hour difference. If you try to make one for 6 o'clock today, and it was like 8 a.m., you couldn't make it. It wouldn't be available anymore. It just depends on the tutor and what their settings are.
Great, thank you. That answered my question.
Do you have any other questions? Well, thank you all for joining us. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and thank you to Megan Martin for presenting for us.
You're welcome. I had fun doing it.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.